Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another live stream. You know what to do. Hit the bell icon, hit the like button, whoop de whoop, good, all that good stuff. You're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Is your boy Lincoln Daddy, L Daddy, the godfather of gaming, the ageless wonder. What is good, everybody? It is Monday. It is 11:14 a.m. over here, Eastern time. What is good, Jamal Adams? I have the day off. My anniversary at my job is coming up at the end of this month, June 25th. So whatever remaining vacation time I have to use it between now and then. Otherwise, they cash you out for it. They don't allow you to roll over vacation time. So I've got about 2.5 more days that I have to use between now and the 25th. So I've already planned it out to take the next couple of Mondays off. Yeah, it's been a wonderful weekend. My son got to stay over an extra night. Um, and I'm multitasking right now. I'm watching ESPN First Take with host Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, which I've had the pleasure to meet both of them. Both really cool guys. I only got to talk to Max Kellerman for a couple of seconds when I met him. But when I met Stephen A. Smith, yeah, we probably, what it was is he was talking, he was signing autographs and he was talking to people. And I walked up on him and I said, Stephen A. Smith. And I repeated something that he said from a Sports Center episode, I think like a year before. And he was pretty cool. And I explained to him that, that I was a Mayweather. So we talked a little bit. And then my brother joined in the conversation. And then when it came time to take a picture, because there was a lot of my family there, it was probably about 25 of us there. So when we got ready to take a family picture, we was like, hey, Stephen A. Smith, come take a picture with the Mayweather family. So long story short, he got in the middle and he held up a Floyd t-shirt right in the middle of our family, which is pretty cool. And I think I got the chance to take a couple of individual pictures with him. One of my cousins has the pictures, so I have to track her down and get the pictures from her. I had them once, but I lost them. So I got to try to get them again. If I ever get hold of those pictures again, I'll definitely post them and show them to you guys. So that was a pretty memorable night. That was the night that Floyd fought Arturo Gatti, and there was a lot of celebrities at that fight. But what got me caught up watching this First Take is everybody, they're talking about the NBA Finals, which, some people might think this isn't a good NBA Finals. I think it's a pretty good NBA Finals. Sam Ash, what is up? Jamal Adams, I think I said what's up to you. PlayStation Plus podcast, what is up, my friend? How you doing? So I think these NBA Finals have been pretty good. One thing I love to see in any sport is when a team hasn't won a championship before and they get to the finals and they play like it's their only chance to get a championship. And you see how hungry a team is, how hungry they play. Crap Gamer's crying about Xbox E3. He should be. Right now, they might be talking about the injuries at Golden State, with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and that kind of stuff. But the Raptors are hungry. Toronto is hungry. They want this championship. They ain't playing it like they want it more than Golden State does. That's for certain. I think Golden State, without Kevin Durant being there, I think for the most part, they're not playing that bad. But I think Steph Curry wore himself out having to shoulder the load with, Thompson being hurt and no KD there to help spread the floor. But still, they've been playing pretty good. But I think Toronto plays like they want it more. And I love seeing that. I love seeing when the team is hungry. I love seeing when their fan base is just as hungry as they are. They get behind that team and they energize that team. And I love when the team has a celebrity on the sideline helping to feed them and give them energy. So some people think, Drake might be irritating on the sidelines, but I think it's cool because I love to see stuff like that. You see Jack Nicholson and a host of other celebrities on the sidelines when the Lakers are about to win a championship. You see Spike Lee on the sidelines when New York's playing. And I think Detroit with Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups and that crew Kid Rock was on the sideline, firing up the crowd. So I love seeing that kind of stuff, and I think we're about to witness it again. So, so I'll definitely be checking out the NBA Finals tonight and see if Toronto can deliver the knockout blow and put them away. And I think it'd be cool for Toronto to win to add more flavor to the NBA. That a U.S. team didn't win it, so I think it would be cool if Toronto win it. I'm pulling for them to win. Not only that, because I'm an Eastern Conference guy. I always felt like the Eastern Conference plays harder basketball than the West Coast. Because West Coast guys shoot threes all day. East Coast plays that hard basketball with hard defense, working for shots. That, and going all the way back. Some of the you could probably go back the last 20, 30 years, and some of the Eastern Conference teams that have won NBA Finals, their defense was a big part of why they won the championship. So, so I think it'll be cool to see Toronto win it. I want to see Jurassic Park in the city of Toronto, get hype. I want to see the celebration. I think it'll be cool. But let's go ahead and talk about what is going on with E3. I thought E3. I kind of said it. No, I didn't kind of said it. I outright said it. In Craig's podcast, when he had, I think it was Saturday, when he had, or was it yesterday morning? Either way, he had Porter Rock, Big Cloud, Carlos Fernandez, had them in there, and I outright said it. I think this could possibly be one of the most boring E3s that we have seen, and I think it came true. I think that was a highly boring E3, and I think Microsoft, all those games that they showed, I think a lot of the games that Microsoft showed, the Xbox Game Studio games, I think some of those games, a lot of those games were trash. And I think they tried to mix them in with other third-party games. And at times it was hard for me to distinguish what games were Microsoft games and what games were third-party games. So that speaks to the level of quality that some of these third-party games were. I watched the stream through Sick Humor. I watched his live reaction stream to Microsoft's E3 and the EA E3, and it was horrible. So let me grab my notes, and we'll start with Oh yeah, I forgot. I want to try to have this thing wrapped up by noon because VR takes the center stage today at noon Eastern time. Upload VR presents VR E3. So E3 VR is going to get its own E3 stage coming up here in about 40 minutes, little under 40 minutes. And I definitely want to see that. And the way I see it, this is E3's. This is VR's first time taking the E3 stage dedicated to VR. So I would say the possible bad news of this is that it could be trash. The good news, the silver lining of it, is it couldn't be any worse than Microsoft's or EA's E3. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I want to see what kind of games are coming out this year. I do hope there's a few high quality games in there. I don't want to look at a bunch of cheap indie games. Yeah, I know VR is comprised of a lot of indie games, but I do hope to see a few high quality games in there. So with that being said, I plan to have this wrapped up by noon, a little after, give or take. Some people like Eric for President have already started their pre E3 shows. Who we got here? Yep. PSVR without parole got started. So let's get started with EA's E3. You know, I took some notes. Basically, what I did was take notes of the particular games that they showed and then give my thoughts of what I saw right then and there. Let me grab my notes. Let's back up here. Okay. So we'll start from the beginning. You know, with Jedi Fallen Order. I thought the game is okay. Not enough to make me feel like I'm going to buy it day one. And I'm sorry, but I'm just waiting to see what kind of hidden shit Jedi Fallen Order has, because you know goddamn well they are going to sneak some microtransactions in there. EA just will not. Not Microsoft, but EA absolutely will not release a game without putting some sort of microtransactions in it. And I think they've probably learned their lesson about putting pay-to-win microtransactions in their games. But the Anthem debacle has showed me that they will put ridiculous cosmetic microtransactions in their games. Get a drink here. Yeah, Silverback, that's right. You hit it right there on the head. It doesn't. You just said it right there in a nutshell. Jedi doesn't look interesting. It doesn't look like trash, but it doesn't look like a game that's going to make you jump out of your seat and be like, oh, I got to have this day one. It didn't. I saw elements of Anthem in there. I think with the parkour and the climbing and shit like that, I saw elements of Uncharted in it. I think some of the lightsaber fights could be interesting, but EA as a whole right now has been disappointing. Yes. Yeah, right there, Silverback. You said it right there. The force power is kind of cool, but you know that's exactly the way I feel. The Jedi fights could be interesting with the lightsaber, the way he used the force to draw some enemies towards him and shove a lightsaber right through him. The way he used the force to throw some opponents, the way he used the force to throw enemies at a crowd of enemies. That was a little bit interesting, but it was not. It wasn't game changing. It wasn't enough to make me say, "Oh, I got to get this game." It just wasn't. They could have done a better job of showcasing the game. I think the game itself just doesn't look interesting, Sam Ash. I think it doesn't matter how they showcase this game. It still would have looked like the same mediocre looking game to me. I don't think there's anything they could have done. So with that being said, this is going to be a game. I am going to wait for the slow sales and wait for them to put this game on sale more sooner than later. If I'm going to buy a game that I'm probably not going to finish, and it could very well end up as a backlog game, I would rather pay for it while it's on sale. I mean, I think Days Gone probably taught me a lesson about paying full price about games that I can't finish. Now, don't get me wrong. I had every intention in the world to finish Days Gone. It didn't work out that way. I said it many times. I got caught up watching Sick Humor streams. And I got caught up playing my own VR games. I can tell you right here, right now, if someone was to put Jedi Fallen Order in my hand, there's a strong chance that I probably would not finish it. Therefore, I'm not going to pay $60 for it. So I'll just catch it when it's on sale. That's if I decide to buy it. So, the next one, Apex Legends. How much time they spent on Apex Legends? Yes, Sam Ash, Days Gone is a very good game. It's just that, for the reasons that I explained, I didn't finish the game. I started it with every intentions of finishing it, but it didn't turn out that way. Moving on to EA's next item that was showcased, and that was Apex Legends. That, oh my God, that could have been the worst part of EA's E3. They spent so much time. It seemed like they dedicated about a half an hour talking about this battle pass and what kind of items you can get and what kind of modes that might have been added to the game. It was that was a moment that went in one ear and out the other with this battle pass shit. This was something that was despicable that it was even on the E3 stage. They could have made a little trailer. They could have made a forum announcement, whatever, they could have put this shit on the Xbox and the PlayStation dashboard advertising this shit. But to have a whole segment of E3 dedicated to this bullshit, you had to be kidding me. And then they brought in developers to talk about this battle pass. Unbelievable. And then they show you a cartoon artwork of another character, a female character that was going to be added to the game that looked like she was carrying a roll of copper on her back, and act like this character is just going to completely change the game. It was, I don't know. And then they had I think they said it looked like they had something called Battle Charge that looked like cartoonish garbage. And again, they spent an astronomical amount of time talking about this character, this cartoonish character they're adding, this battle pass, the battle charge. They spent an extended amount of time talking about that bullshit. It just wasn't worth the time. I mean, you're talking about a free-to-play game that had already been out, and you're talking about DLC. So other than Jedi Fallen Order, EA's E3 was basically DLC E3. And then EA, they revealed new maps for Battlefield 5, which I couldn't tell the difference because it was the same. It was the same hills, grassy hills, a couple trees here and there, a couple of buildings here and there, and you see, a gun shooting enemies. It looked like the same shit. There was no way I could have been able to tell that this was a new map unless they told you it was a new map. So what kind of E3? How far is E3 sunk when they are advertising new characters, season passes, and maps? I thought E3 was all about, showing new games. And then the final part of E3, of EA's E3, might have been the biggest slap in the face, was showing DLC for The Sims 4. They're showing DLC for a game that released in 2014. Are you fucking kidding me? That E3 was just absolute trash. It was despicable. They wasted a lot of people's time. I quit watching after they showed that sim shit where you got this kid running around squirting lotion on people that's laying down in the sand, kicking sand on them and shit like that. That's gonna make you jump out of you and say, "Oh, I gotta go get sim so I can throw lotion on somebody and make them look like a tan zebra." You got to be fucking kidding me. I can only take about an hour of that shit, but nonetheless, it's still 1 hour of my life I cannot get back. So just straight up trash. Don't forget Greg Miller. Yeah, that dude was irritating. I think it was a loudmouth goofball. I mean, this EA was so bad, Coon, that I promise you, you know, as I go on and talk about shit that I thought was despicable, you guys are going to find shit that I left out because I'm sure everybody has their idea of what they felt like E3, what made E3 the most despicable. So I'm sure there's a lot of shit that I've left out. So Spartan Guy, what is up? Jason Elliott, what's up? Support Gaming, what's up? I think I said what's up to you, Coon, but what's up? So now Microsoft's E3, let's go ahead and move on to Microsoft's E3. I didn't take notes on every single game. I mean, 60 games is a lot to take a lot of notes on. What's up, Jez? Phil with the snake oil sales pitch. You ain't bullshitting. You know, I'm going to talk about a few of the games that Microsoft, showed. But more than anything, I want to talk about 3 key moments where you had to read between the lines of, what they were saying. So, when I first started taking notes on the Microsoft E3, a few games had already been shown. I don't remember what they were, but when I came in, they showed Psychonauts. And I don't know what the big deal about Psychonauts was, because not only is this game has already been on the PS4 for over a year, it's in on the PlayStation VR. Psychonauts, I instantly saw that because Psychonauts was one of those games that every time I went into the VR section of the PlayStation store, the game was always being sold like dirt cheap for $8 or some shit like that. And I'm thinking to myself, should I get this game? Should I get this game? Should I get this game? It was a game that I didn't really feel like I would be interested in. I was just trying to build my VR collection. So the shit, I don't know. I don't even know why they even bothered showing that game. Who the fuck that game gonna appeal to? I wouldn't be surprised if, when all is said and done, that Psychonauts still ends up selling better on the PlayStation VR than it does the Xbox platform. And they don't buy shit over there. They scream they want games, but they don't buy shit over there. This 12 minutes game, at first I was like, okay, looks okay, but I take that back now. They show a top view of a woman getting ready to go on her period and shit, just like acting up about shit she didn't feel right about. Just, it was unappealing. I just can't really go into detail about it, but I didn't see any gameplay. All we know is that the dude sitting here trying to explain himself, like, whatever, for whatever reason. And the only interesting part of that shit that they showed is when the police kicked in the door. This is just, it was boring. It was uninteresting. Now, this game right here, the next game that I'm about to talk about, epitomizes the direction that Microsoft is going in terms of the demographic that they're targeting, and that is Way to the Woods. That game where that deer, buck, whatever you want to call it, walking around with his fawn, cub, whatever you want to call it. They just walking around, walking through woods, walking through other settings, and nothing happened other than that the deer's antlers was glowing. What's the purpose of that game? That game looked like polished AA trash. And that game was part of a long lineup of cartoony looking games. It seems that that's another route that Microsoft has taken with these cartoony games. I don't know if that Way to the Woods was an Xbox game or if it was a third party game, but it definitely was a AA looking game. And I think that was one of the slick moves that Microsoft made was mixing their games up with all these other garbage ass third party games. So I don't know who the fuck they think's going to buy that Way to the Woods. Oh my God. Then another slap in the face was the Forza Horizon 4 with Legos. But this was typical Microsoft shit. I knew it. They was not going to let this fucking E3 get through without showing the normal shit, the normal Gears, the normal Halo, the normal Forza. They was going to work that shit in because that is the core of their games. So I knew there was going to be some kind of Forza shit worked in there. Lego? And then there were moments where I seen Lego cars in regular production cars mixed in racing together. Me being a car enthusiast and I pick a McLaren, if for my McLaren to get beat by a Lego car that looks like a train locomotive, then what does that say? I don't care if it is a video game. I'm still a car enthusiast. What kind of ratings you gonna give these Lego cars in terms of the stats, the performance stats against, say, a Lamborghini? So if you want to buy that shit as an arcade racer and just have some fun with it, fine. But if you're a car enthusiast and you like Sims like me, no, that shit was absolute garbage. If you're a person that likes GT Sport and then the other car sims over on PC, like iRacing and Assetto Corsa, in the Project Cars, those kind of games, those racing sims, to see Forza with those Lego cars in there just was another slap in the face. They made a game that, in my opinion, that was already just washed up garbage. How many times has this thing gone through the ringer? They made it even more garbage. Next piece of bullshit that I took note on. Now, remember, I didn't take this, all this shit didn't necessarily happen in the particular order that I'm talking about it. Those were just things that stood out to me. The next bit of bullshit was the Gears Pop for the smartphone. The amount of time that shit was given on stage. I think they showed about a good 5-minute clip of that goofy ass shit. Hold on. I mean, I don't know who's a hardcore gamer on both the Xbox and the PlayStation side is going to run out and get this Gears Pop shit. But I'm telling you right now, this Gears Pop, there's going to be more of that shit coming, because I think that's part of the reason why Microsoft acquired all these studios. When I was in Craig's podcast yesterday, I called these studio acquisitions that Microsoft picked up I call them bootleg developers. I said it before. The bootleg developers brought in to make bootleg games. At some point, these developers are going to start churning out mobile games. Because Microsoft trying to reach, they trying to dip their hand in every single pot out there. So these people definitely going to be churning out some mobile games. So Gears Pop, that isn't just one game. You're going to start, 5 years from now, Microsoft could very well have a big library of mobile games built up using these studio acquisitions. But they gave that shit 5-10 minutes on the stage. You got to be fucking kidding me. And one thing about mobile gamers is they might be the cheapest of everybody in a sense that they don't want to pay for the game initially. If they see that the game is $10, they might not buy it. If they see that the game is $20, they probably definitely are not going to buy it. But if you say free to play, then they'll walk right through that gate, and then they'll open up their wallets and purses and purchase every microtransactions they see. So Christopher Hart, Microsoft is aiming at Switch and mobile gamers with this E3. I would agree. Sam Ash, you said it's all to fill out Game Pass. Yep. They should realize they'll never reach this magically 2 billion gamer plateau. I had said that the first time it came out of their mouth that they were trying to reach 2 billion gamers, that they will never do it on consoles alone. Because I said it before. Look at, okay, so PlayStation. The PlayStation 2 is the best-selling console of all time with what, 155 million, give or take. And then Microsoft, their best generation was the 360 generation, or depending on how you look at it, this generation could be their best generation because they claim to have 80 million 360 sold, but it is widely rumored that a lot of those 360 that had the red ring of death, Microsoft took those 360s, refurbished them, and then counted them as sales. So that's a big part of where they got their 80 million from. And then the Xbox 360 supposedly had a failure rate of 51%. So if you take those numbers, Microsoft probably actually sold 40 or 39 million 360s. So with that being said, depending on how many Xbox Ones they sold, this generation could be their best generation. So we'll just save, but to make my point, we'll go ahead and give Microsoft the 80 million that they claim they did during the 360 generation. So you combine the 155 million that PS2 sold, their best generation, along with the 80 million that Microsoft claims they sold during the 360 generation, which gives you 230 million. You haven't even cracked $500 million yet. There's no way you're going to reach 2 billion on consoles alone. That's why I said it right there. The only way you even have a chance of cracking 2 million is you're going to have to be heavy into the gaming market, into the mobile game market. Yeah, but Sam Ash, I see what you're saying right there. Their true base is 25 to 45 million gamers, honestly, which you would be right. But for the sake of making my point, I went ahead and gave them the 80 million that they did during the 360 generation. You combine Microsoft's best generation along with Sony's best generation, and you still come up with about 230 million. Not even close. You still have to do 10 times that amount to reach 2 billion gamers, and it's not going to happen on the console space. To even have a chance to even reach 1 billion, you're going to have to be heavily invested into the mobile gaming market. And with that being said, Microsoft not only would they have to get deep into the mobile market, they would have to produce a lot of free-to-play games. Because ain't no way they're going to reach 2 billion gamers making a bunch of games that they expect people to pay for, especially on the mobile market. So in the sense of paying for the initial game, mobile gamers might be the cheapest people out there. They talk about how cheap PC gamers are. Mobile gamers might be the cheapest. PC gamers might be willing to, they will spend $10, $20 for a game. Mobile gamers probably won't. You have to give them the game for free to get them to come through the door. Once they get through the door, then you can go ahead and crack them over the head with microtransactions. So again, there's no way they're going to reach 2 billion gamers unless they get heavy into mobile gaming, unless they put out a bunch of free-to-play games. Unless their idea of reaching 2 billion gamers is the cloud. Whereas the minute you turn your phone on, some way you're connected to the cloud, like your computer, your tablet, whatever, anything that might use a Windows operating system. The minute you turn it on, you sort of have access to their cloud. In that sense, then yes, maybe they can reach 2 billion gamers. The same way they tried to say that they had the highest user engagement when they tried to use those fucking numbers. When my definition of user engagement is simply turning your fucking console on. So if that's the case, then yes, it's possible they can reach 2 billion gamers, 2 billion people in that sense, where somebody turns on their computer that has Windows 10 on it. The minute they turn it on, they have access to, to xCloud. In that sense, yes, then it's possible that they can reach 2 billion gamers. I keep using the word gamers, 2 billion people. I think to reach 2 billion gamers is impossible. I think to reach 2 billion people is possible. So, Target's having a flash sale. So we got 10 minutes before the VR E3 takes off. So let me try to pick up the pace here. You said Battletoads look like dog shit. Who thought that Battletoads was going to be the bomb? The only person talking about Battletoads is Fatal Mephisto, and by his own admission, he likes those weird ass games. So Battletoads just went past me because just for the simple fact that I knew that Fatal Mephisto was, hyped about this game, already knew that it was going to be some kind of weird ass game before I even seen it. So I was already prepared to brush that to the side as soon as we finally see something. Next one. Andrew Wilkins, what is up? Thomas Hand, what's up? The next bit of bullshit that they showed that I took note on was the State of Decay Heartland DLC. Enough said. I can't even remember what the bullshit was about. I'm not even going to go into detail with it. All I can say is this shit should have never seen the E3 stage. They could have advertised that shit on the Xbox dashboard. That State of Decay DLC is not going to draw in any more people than they already have. It's not even a guarantee that they're gonna that it's gonna maintain the people that they already have. The game was a broken mess, and if you haven't fixed the problems that that game had, and you're gonna throw in DLC on top of a broken game, shit. I would say the only thing that's going to stop this DLC from falling flat on its face is that it's part of Game Pass. Because Microsoft can bury it, Microsoft can lie and bury all those numbers within Game Pass. So Microsoft, keep searching and get your head out of the trash. Phil, we searched the world for games to bring you. Right. Now, let's talk about those 3 moments where I felt like you had to read between the lines. Ninja Theory, this Bleeding Edge game that they had. Did anybody notice the guy and the girl that came up to present the Bleeding Edge game? First of all, the girl said, "We hope you like it." And she looked less than enthused when she said it. So did the guy. When they gave the presentation of the game, both of them looked less than enthused. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is your latest creation. Even if it's garbage, you have to act like this is our best this is our best work yet. We're really excited to bring it to you. But they were like, man, they seem less than enthusiastic. So what that told me was that this game that they're coming out with, they didn't want to do this shit. I think they probably wanted to do something like how do you go from making a game like Hellblade that even though it was an indie game, it was still one of the best looking games of the year. It received all kinds of acclaim. And I can't remember if it received any kind of nominations for these gaming awards, but it was still hailed as a very good game, a very underrated game that the sales don't reflect how good this game is. And, I haven't played the game, but I've seen enough clips of the game to say, man, this is a great looking game that it, even though it was an indie game, the graphics and all that shit initially looked like a high quality AAA game. How do you go from making that to making this bullshit Bleeding Edge game that had all these crazy fucked up rainbow colors that look washed out, and it had the same kind of colors and same kind of textures as State of Decay? I said it before, if you would have put those games next to each other side by side, I would not have been able to tell the difference. I would have thought that the same developer made both games. Xbox Video, you said, I think Sony didn't go to E3 this year because they didn't have enough content to show. If that be the case, it was a very smart move. Because a lot of those games that Microsoft showed you are third-party games as well. That if Sony would have came to E3, they could have easily used that same bullshit to put on their same stage. And they probably would have got 10 times the criticism that Microsoft did. Now, I think E3, Sony made a very smart move not coming to E3. And I think the fact of the matter is Sony probably didn't have anything to show what's left for this generation. I'm still people like GameCross are still reporting of games coming left and right, RPG games and a bunch of other games that's still coming to the PlayStation 4. But I think Sony's just getting ready to show the content that they have coming up for the PS5. Either way, I still feel like it was a good move that Sony didn't show up, but that also tells you how low E3 has sunk, that without Sony being there, it was an absolute dismal show. So getting back to this Ninja Theory thing, see what we got here. Sick went live. Oh yeah, there you go, Sick. Go ahead, show them that VR showcase. As a matter of fact, I had planned to watch it, but if Sick has an open spot on Discord, I will join him because I am very excited about this VR showcase. So let me just go ahead and get ready to wrap this up because this shit's about to take off in a few minutes. As I pointed out, in my opinion, Ninja Theory, the game that they put out, this Bleeding Edge, was not them. I think that was Microsoft. I think Microsoft had their hands all over this and probably told them, whatever you make sure it is a multiplayer game. So they could basically, they made a games as a service game. They made a game for Game Pass. To me, I think Microsoft handcuffed Ninja Theory. They did not give them the creative freedom they claimed they had. They did not give them the unlimited budget they claimed they had. Because, hey, Jess, thanks. I appreciate it. Microsoft, in my opinion, did not give Ninja Theory that unlimited budget that they talked about. They did not give them the creative freedom. Microsoft had their hands all over this game with these fucked up rainbow colors, these State of Decay looking graphics and shit. This game is not targeted to people like me. This game is targeted at teenagers and kids. I think that Bleeding Edge, I think that game is targeted towards gamers from between the ages of 8 and 13. That game is not targeted towards grown-ups. And you can see the lack of enthusiasm on both the guy and the girl's face. It was borderline depression. They did not look happy on that stage presenting that game. Microsoft took the creative freedom out of their hands, but that is their own fault for allowing themselves to be bought by Microsoft, knowing what kind of company Microsoft is. They were not going to have any creative freedom. They were not going to have an unlimited budget. Microsoft was going to tell them what to make. They were going to tell them when they expected it to be done, and here is how much money you have to work with. And that is exactly what we saw. I can't feel bad for them. I want to feel bad for them because they probably are a highly talented, developer, but they jumped into the frying pan. In my opinion, they jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire, and that fire was an entity that was going to strip them of all their artistic talents. So, hey, that's on them for fucking with Microsoft. Just like Bungie and shit like that, you saw what the fuck they went through. So that's on them. The other situation where I'm not shocked Microsoft has Rare handcuffed also. What do you think Microsoft is going to do to Ninja Theory? Exactly. Sea of Thieves is an indie game, but Microsoft marketed it like it was a AAA game. It was indie bullshit. Again, like you said, Skip Bayless, Rare was handcuffed. All the creative freedom stripped out of their hands. Same conditions. This is what you got to work with. This is how much time you got to get it done. This is what your budget is. And this is what we want. It definitely wasn't going to be a single player experience. That's for certain. All these studio acquisitions that was brought in by Microsoft, most of these people are going to be making service-based games. There's going to be multiplayer, whether it's player versus player or co-op. But the bottom line is there's not going to be very many single player experiences on this shit. So the next thing that I want to talk about where I felt like you had to read between the lines was this Ultimate Game Pass membership that they're talking about. For $15 a month, you will get Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Live, and PC, Xbox, Game Pass for PC. Where I read between the lines on that, I feel like the Xbox Game Pass and the Game Pass for PC are two separate subscriptions containing different content. I feel like Xbox Game Pass is going to be full of Xbox and Xbox 360 games, whereas PC Game Pass is going to be full of PC games. And because they are two different subscriptions, I feel like you're not going to be able to use one of them on the other platform. You're not going to be able to use the Xbox Game Pass on PC, and you're not going to be able to use the PC Game Pass on Xbox, because for one thing, all the shit that's going to be on the PC Game Pass isn't going to be on the Xbox for starters. So, and they know PC gamers are not going to pay for Xbox Live. That is their way to draw people, the PC people in, to get them to pay for Xbox Live, is to offer the shit in the package. When you break down the numbers, Xbox Game Pass, both the PC Game Pass, everybody thought PC Game Pass was going to be $5 a month. Some information leaked out that it was going to be $5 a month. That was going to be a slap in the face to the Xbox people. Maybe word got back to Microsoft about it, how they might be disrespecting the Xbox community by doing that shit, and they probably jacked the price up of the PC Game Pass to $10 to make it fair. That's very well possible. Now, here's where the bullshit mathematics comes in. Xbox Game Pass is $10 a month. If you pay for it yearly, Xbox Live is $60. That is $180. That is $180 a year. So if you do the math, that breaks down to, I think, $15 a month. If you divide 180, divide 180 by 12, I think it comes out to be $15 a month. You are not saving any money. Microsoft gave you this same package a couple of months ago where they were supposedly combining Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live for $15 a month. You were not saving any money. You were paying the same shit. The only thing that Microsoft did now with this Ultimate Game Pass is throw in PC Game Pass. How many Xbox people have a PC anyway? They're not going to be able to take advantage of that because a lot of Xbox people do not have PCs. For one thing, like a lot of these hardcore Xbox motherfuckers are some dumbass plug and play motherfuckers that even though they know it's probably a better move to go get a PC to play the Xbox games, they're still going to be stuck on fucking Xbox. So those dummies is basically going to be paying the amount that Game Pass would cost for a year in a 1-year membership of Xbox Live, which comes out to be $180, $15 a month. You're not saving any fucking month. You're not saving any fucking money. So ultimately, Robert McLeod, this Ultimate Game Pass, all it is you pay $15 a month. You're paying the $15 a month for Xbox Game Pass. You're paying $5 a month for Xbox Live. That's what it's going to come out to be yearly. So you're not saving any money. The only thing they are doing is throwing in PC Game Pass for free, which is a sneaky move because to put it in a reversal crazy way, a good amount of PC people might have an Xbox in order to play the Xbox exclusive, but a lot of hardcore Xbox people do not have a PC. So a lot of them will not be able to take advantage of the free PC Game Pass that's added into this package. So it's a big fuck over by Microsoft. Slick move. But the Xbox is stupid, so it don't take much to fool them. What proves Microsoft is on drugs as they always been. And then the last move where I felt like you had to read between the lines is when Microsoft revealed Project Scarlet. First of all, they pull some slick shit, let you know up to 8K resolution, up to 120 frames per second, 4 times the power of the Xbox X and all this shit. But they didn't break down the stats, how many teraflops, how much computing power, all that shit. They didn't give you those numbers. They don't want to give you those numbers because if they do, they know Sony was sitting there watching them. Whatever they say, if they say the shit was going to be 12 teraflops, Sony was probably going to make sure the PS5 was going to be 14 teraflops. That's why they didn't give you those numbers. The only thing they told you was that it is the most powerful Xbox that we have made, because they cannot guarantee that it's going to be the world's most powerful console because they know Sony is waiting for them to reveal their specs so they can one-up them. So with that being said, as far as that goes, you said, like my video says, frankly, Scarlett, we do not give a damn. Here's the other thing too. From what we have been gathering, Scarlett was supposed to be a family of Xboxes and not one particular Xbox. Scarlett was supposed to compose of Project Maverick, Project Lockhart, and Project Anaconda, which I guess Maverick was supposed to be the Xbox all digital that we have right now. I don't need to get into that. You guys feel how you feel about that. Then Lockhart, I guess, from what I'm understanding, it doesn't have as much graphical power as the Xbox One X, but it is supposed to perform better on the CPU. It's supposed to be a better CPU in this console. And then then we got Anaconda, where we just don't really know what's going on with Anaconda. Basically, what they did was took the E3 stage and gave you this big ass video. Here at Xbox, we look for better ways of bringing an optimal gaming experience to our gamers. Having 96 different people from all different cultures and shit like that, talking this blah, 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 putting us to sleep with this motherfucking bullshit, only to turn around and say the same shit that Mark Cerny said, that we read on a fucking, that we read on the internet. And it probably took us less than 5 minutes to read whatever article you read about what Mark Cerny said about the PS5, talking about the solid state drive and all that shit. They gave you a big ass presentation on the E3 stage just to say the same shit that Mark Cerny said. He said the next gen consoles will be alike, just like I said. Okay, yes, definitely, Spartan God. And yeah, you just said it right there. Maverick, Lockhart, and Anaconda equals Scarlet. It's a family of consoles. PLO, you said Xbox seems to be all over the place. They seem to be unfocused. They trying to dip their hand in every single cookie jar out there. And in focusing on one group and feed them quality, they are dipping their hand in every single cookie jar. Sony did it right. They cater to the hardcore people. If you build it, they will come. When casual gamers are ready to buy a console and they don't know what to pick between the Xbox and the PlayStation, they will seek out the advice of a hardcore gamer that probably has all the consoles. And they will probably seek that person out and ask them for their advice. And I think that's a big reason why the PlayStation sold so many consoles. Because it started with us, the hardcore gamers. And it's easy for us to tell them, get a PlayStation. Not because it's got more power, but because it's got better games. We are the minority in the gaming landscape. But I think we are the most important aspect of the gaming community. It starts with us, the hardcore people. People will seek us out for advice. Yeah, Skip Bayless, Nintendo cares more about the hardcore gamer than Microsoft. Exactly. Yeah, Nintendo is better than Xbox. If I knew it was going to play out like this, I probably would have bought a Nintendo Switch before I bought an Xbox. If I had any idea this generation was going to play out the way it did. So that, I think the only slick thing that Microsoft did that kind of puts a little bit of pressure on Sony was kind of giving you a timetable. Holiday 2020. So at this point, officially, the Xbox Scarlets, those are going to be coming first officially because we heard it straight from the horse's mouth and not a bunch of rumors. This person said, this person with credibility, this kind of shit. No. Now I think that might put a little bit of pressure on Sony to actually come out and give us some kind of timetable coming in 2020, coming in 2021, whatever. I think that's going to force Sony's hand to finally reveal a little bit more about the PS5 now that Xbox has given you a timetable on when you can expect the console. I think that is the only smart move that Microsoft did that entire E3 was give you a timetable of when you can expect these consoles. So with that being said, you know, I'm a little bit over noon. I knew that was going to happen. But I'm going to get ready to shut it down. And whether I join Sick Humor or whether I watch some other channel, I'm getting ready to check out the VR E3 showcase. So I'm going to check with Sick first to see if I can get into his podcast and give my thoughts as we check out what's going to be going on the VR showcase. So join us over there. With that being said, I'm going to scoot on out of here. Thanks everybody for watching. If I wasn't for press for time, I would have broke this down a little bit more, but I think I was able to scrunch in a lot of shit in the short amount of time that I had to work with. Give it a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I'm going to boogie on out of here, and I'll see you guys over on Sick Humors Podcast. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.